COVID was all about, and they were worried they would come in and they would contract it, and what we could do as residents of the city to help them weather the storm. And it was so powerful. And I've seen this time after time after time where someone in the room is listening to the conversation, they ping in a friend, and that friend is the founder of the company that people are talking about, or someone who worked on that campaign when it was 5 people and they were going through the craziness, or someone who was on the ground in Beirut when that bomb went off yesterday and could tell them exactly what it was like. And I just love that idea that no matter what you're talking about, you can bring in someone who has an actual firsthand perspective on this thing to educate you and tell you what it's really like. The ping button won't be as powerful if you just joined Clubhouse, because it only works with people who follow you. And that's so that you never get bothered by people that don't follow you. Or I'm sorry, that you don't follow. So it only works for people that follow you. But as you use Clubhouse and you talk, you'll just organically gain more followers just from talking. And that button will get more and more useful over time, and it creates some of the most magical experiences you'll ever see on Clubhouse. So please, please, please use the big button. I love it. The next thing that I wanted to mention was changing profile photos. You'll often hear people say pull to refresh or PTR in Clubhouse. And that's because people use their profile photos to illustrate something that they're talking about. It could be that they're eating some delicious sandwich and they wanted to take a photo and show everyone, or they're walking in some park and they have this beautiful view of the sunset and they want to show people what they're talking about. And so they'll update their profile photo to illustrate what it is. We created a power user feature that's a little known feature. If you tap and hold on your profile photo in the upper right of the screen, that small profile photo that goes to your profile, and then you let go, tap and hold and let go, it'll go straight to your camera roll. It'll allow you to really quickly update your profile photo if you want other people to see it, and then you can tell people to pull to refresh. And then when you're done, you can change it back to your standard profile photo. So that's something that's kind of part of the culture and the way people use Clubhouse. And they get really, really creative with it. It's kind of amazing. I bet if you look around the room right now, you'll see people doing pretty interesting things with their profile photos. The next thing is notifications. Notifications are a really important part of Clubhouse because it's a live service. If you missed it, you missed it. And there are some pretty amazing moments that you won't want to miss. And the challenge is that, we don't want you to miss the special moments, but we also don't want to send you too many notifications because that's going to be annoying. And so we can try and get smarter and smarter about what notifications you like to receive, but we also want to provide as many knobs and dials as possible for you to tune those notifications if you are sufficiently motivated and want to do that, because it's going to make your experience better. So a few things you can do. One is if you go to your profile photo, to your profile in the upper right, and you tap on the settings icon, then you can modify your notifications. You can change the frequency. You can say, only send me notifications very infrequently. Like, I only want to know about the very most important ones. Or you can say, send me ones really frequently. I want to know about everything so I don't miss out on anything important. You can turn off certain types of notifications, like trending room notifications. You can pause notifications until tonight or tomorrow morning or till next week. That's something that's a really useful thing to do. Every time you follow someone, you'll see a little bell appear, and you can go and you can say, always notify me every time this person talks, never notify me when this person talks. Like, I want to see them in my feed, but I don't want to get notified about them. Or sometimes notify me, and that's the default. And when you say sometimes, we'll just try and be smart about it and only send you the best ones. But just please know that you can tune notifications. It'll really improve your experience if you're thoughtful about that. And you really want to have notifications on, or at least consider that, and then managing the frequency, because otherwise you'll miss out on the most important moments. Okay, next thing is if you want to auth Instagram, or if you want to auth Twitter, you can do that. And totally optional, but some people do it because it allows other people on Clubhouse to learn more about them. It allows people on Clubhouse to follow them on those networks. If you want to gain followers on those networks, it allows other people on Clubhouse to DM you on those networks if your permissions allow for it. And it also in some cases can help us give you better follow suggestions if there are people that. So sorry, I just got a call and declined it. So that's one thing to know. If you want to auth those networks, you can auth those networks. Totally optional to do it. The next thing is blocking. Hopefully there's no one here that you want to block, but maybe you have a real world history with someone. Maybe you had an encounter with someone and you don't really want to be in rooms with them. You can tap on them and block them. And if you do that, the way it works is anytime you are a speaker in a room, they won't be able to see the room and they won't be able to join the room. And again, hopefully you don't need to use that, but just know that it's there. Blocks are silent on Clubhouse because we never want you to be in a situation where you block someone and you somehow enter their room and they call you out for blocking them. We never want it to be awkward for you. So when you block someone, they don't get notified. They don't know if they view your profile. They don't see that you blocked them. It's just something that happens silently in the background. If you ever have to report someone, hopefully you never have to do this, but we're building Clubhouse for the whole world. And the reality is there are bad actors in the world, and we need to build a product that is durable to that. And to make sure that if anyone ever violates the community guidelines or the terms of service, you can swiftly report them, and we can swiftly investigate it and warn them, suspend them, or remove them completely from the service, depending on the severity of the violation. So the way that you do that, you can just tap on someone's photo, and then you can tap the three dots in the upper right of the little half sheet, and you can say, you can report them. If you're a moderator, you can remove them from the room. You can also tap and hold on a speaker's profile photo if you need to urgently report them. And you could, if someone comes up and intends to disrupt the conversation, you can tap and hold, and like with one tap, remove them from the room, report them, and block them. And we have a zero tolerance policy for anyone who intentionally disrupts a conversation. We remove you permanently from Clubhouse on your first offense. So we take that really, really seriously. And if you can help us by letting us know if you ever see something like that, it's going to make the whole community better. So just want you to know that that's there, even if hopefully you never have to use it. A couple other things. Clubhouse conversations can go on for a long time. The late nights, early mornings club had a conversation that went on for 12 days. And conversations that go on for hours and hours are not uncommon. New people cycle in and out. And Clubhouse After Dark is totally a thing. People will have conversations late to the night and just be silly and have fun. And it's not uncommon for people to fall asleep while they're talking about Clubhouse. So if you ever see that happen, like you'll be on stage and people laugh and you'll hear a lull in the conversation, and then you'll hear and then everyone will laugh. And one of the moderators, if you're a mod, you can tap on the person and move them back down to the audience. We call that tucking them in. It's a polite thing to do so that they're not embarrassed by people hearing them snore. Four other things I wanted to quickly finish up with before we open up for questions. One is clubs. So you probably see the little house icon next to New Year's or onboarding, and you see it in other rooms in the feed. That means that this room is hosted by a club. And a club is really just a group. We noticed early on in Clubhouse that people were gathering with the same set of people over and over and over again because they were all united by some interest in a topic or some identity or some organization, and they really liked gathering with those same people over and over again. So we created this thing called clubs. It's really a group, but it's Clubhouse, so we have to call it a club. And people use them in different ways. It's a pretty flexible container. Some people use a club like an event series where they will host a weekly conversation or a daily conversation, and that conversation will always be hosted by that club. And people can follow that club, and they'll get notified every time that club hosts a new event, and it will always show up in their feed. So if you're hosting a public conversation and you want it to be an event series, start a club, tell people to follow the club, and that way you'll get to build your audience over time. And you can literally tell them in the room, like, make sure to tap on the name of the club at the top and tap follow, and you'll get notified every time we go live. The other way people use clubs is like communities. So what they'll do is they'll say, okay, this is something where anyone in the club, like you can make people be members in the club. You can sort of invite anyone to be a member, not just a follower, but a member. And any member, they let any member start rooms. So these are clubs that really want to gather and talk about philosophy or like genetic diseases or alcohol addiction or drumming or like, the NBA. And they're really like communities. And anyone in those communities can start rooms and it grows over time. And that's a really nice thing. The third way some people use clubs is like as a private group for their organization or for their friend group. And that's fine too. They just make everyone a member. And they just use it to get together and talk all the time. So right now, clubs aren't yet built into the app. They're still being piloted, but they're going to be part of Clubhouse long term. We're going to build them into the app, hopefully in the next few weeks. It's been a bit of a moving target because we've been working with scaling as we've been growing pretty fast. But for now, if you want to start a club, we love that. Like what you do is first you can go and check to see if a club exists by tapping the search icon in the upper left of the home screen. But if there's not one that you want to join, you want to start it, just ping us. So go to support.joinclubhouse.com, and you'll see all the questions and processes around starting your own club. Or you can also get there by tapping on your profile, then tapping on the settings gear, then tapping FAQ/contact us. Takes you to the same place. It's called our Knowledge Center. And you can use that to submit a request to start a new club. I mentioned briefly that you can check to see if a club exists. To do that, you go to our topic directory. So if you go to the home screen and you tap on that search icon, you can search for people and you can search for clubs. You can also browse by topic, and that will allow you to browse good people to follow if you're interested in that topic, good clubs to follow if you're interested in that topic. And you can also, from your profile, from the settings icon, you can tell us what you're interested in, so we can use that to suggest people and clubs for you to follow in the future. So that, just know when we talk about the topic directory, just go to the search icon in the home screen and you can browse that by topic. Last two things before we get to questions. Sorry, this is going a little bit over. One is invites. People ask us about invites a lot. And I'll tell you what I said before. We are building Clubhouse for everyone in the world, and we've been doing this from day one. We just have historically been a small team. We're growing really quickly now, but we've historically been a small team, and we try to stay really focused on the community and making sure that we're scaling it in a thoughtful way, so that every time we add a new wave of users, the experience for all of you gets better, not worse. And so we've been growing through invites, and the way they work is when you join, you automatically get an invite or two. And these algorithms are changing all the time. We're refining them to get smarter and smarter about how we allocate them. But when you join, you get an invite or two. And we say, wow, thanks for signing up for Clubhouse. We're so glad you're here. We've added a couple invites to your account. Please add other people that you think would be great additions to the community. And then as you participate, we look for people who are participating and adding value to the community by hosting conversations and speaking and just being good citizens. And we proactively add more invites to your account. So you'll just notice that as you're talking and participating, invites will just get added to your account. And we'll say, wow, thanks for being such a great contributor. We've added a few more invites to your account. Please add other people you think would be great. And then if you invite someone who ends up being a good contributor, we'll say, wow, thanks for inviting Curtis. He's been amazing. Please invite more people like Curtis. We've added some more invites to your account. So it's all programmatic. The algorithms are changing all the time. It's based on a whole bunch of different factors. But if you're contributing and all of that, you'll find they just get added to your account. And we're so grateful that anyone would want to join Clubhouse, that anyone would want an invite. If you ever have something special, you need to expedite an invite request, you have an event you're putting on, or you have a group of people that all deeply care about a topic and you're starting a club for them and you want to invite them on in bulk, just let us know. Tell us what your needs are and we'll try to help. We're, like I was saying, we're so grateful that people would even want to bring people on, and we want to help support that. But that's how invites work right now, just to demystify it a little bit. And hopefully in the not too distant future, we'll be open to everyone. It's just a question of, watching how the experience scales as we open Clubhouse up. And the last thing I wanted to mention was monetization, because sometimes people ask how we plan to monetize Clubhouse. Well, the way we think about it is we want you to monetize. So we're really excited about direct monetization for creators. There's so many incredible people here who are smart, who are funny, who are thoughtful, who have domain expertise, who are really great at interviewing and creating news and shows, and they're doing comedy and they're just creating all these incredible experiences for people. And we want those people to get paid directly by happy listeners who are happy to thank them for the experiences they're creating. So we're really excited about subscriptions. So for creators to create clubs where people subscribe to them, like a patronage model, and those people can be in the rooms and the private conversations they're hosting. We're excited about ticketed events. People play guitar, they host musicals, they host debates, they bring on special guests, they do all of these great events. And we want them to be able to have special events where people buy tickets to those events. We want tipping to happen, where people are, contributing and someone in the audience wants to thank them for the great thing they just said or the great song they just played. So we want to build that into the service. People are figuring out all sorts of different ways that they can make a living as a creator, and that's what we want to build. We want to make sure that Clubhouse only grows when you grow as creators, and even if you come on here, especially if you come on here with no audience, but you're just putting time into this and you care and you're just great at bringing people together, we want you to be able to earn a living from doing that. So that's what we want our business model to be, and we want to launch that stuff sooner rather than later. so that we can really be aligned with the creator community. Because if you have a great creator community, that's great for everyone. So that's how we think about monetization. And with that, I will be quiet. If you want to know more, we do these sessions every Wednesday at 6 o'clock Pacific time. So if you joined in the middle of this and you want to catch more of it, we'll be here next Wednesday at 6 o'clock Pacific time. We also do town hall every Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific time, where we talk about all the features we just shipped and what we're shipping next. And we answer any questions that we've got throughout the week and just kind of talk about what's top of mind to us and have that dialogue. If you want to submit a question for town hall, you can do it anytime. Just go to support.joinclubhouse.com. Or again, go to your profile in the settings and then FAQ contact us, same place, and scroll to the bottom. You'll see a link to submit a question for town hall. You can also go to there just to read everything there is to know and the knowledge center about Clubhouse. You can go to welcome.joinclubhouse.com, and that is a new user guide. And all of those pages also have links to contact us. If you have any question that we didn't get to, just shoot us a note. It'll go to me and Rohan and Anu and the whole team. And our whole job is to create a space for all of these incredible people to gather and to have great conversations and to help you. So if you have a question that hasn't been answered, if there's anything you need help with, we are here to serve you, to help you. And we are so grateful every day that we get to spend our time doing this. It's been the most rewarding thing we've ever been a part of. And we just feel lucky every day. And so thank you so much for being here. If you want to go check out another conversation, please do that. There are all sorts of great conversations going on. If you want to stay, we'd love to take questions from people for the next half hour, 35 minutes, something like that. And then we used to try and get to every question, but we were growing so fast. It's like not possible to do that anymore, which is so painful. Plus, I guess we should let people get back to dinner and their families and work and other stuff they got going on. So we'll go till 7:30 Pacific time, and we're going to try and prioritize questions from people with the newbie badge. We do that every week just to make sure we're prioritizing the new people at onboarding. But if we don't get to your question, if there's something important, please drop us a note. Just go to support.joinclubhouse.com and I'll tell you how to get in touch with everyone, because we want to make sure we answer any questions that you have. So thank you so much. I'm sorry for monologuing for so long. I'm going to open up the hand raise queue right now, and Anu's a moderator. So she's going to... she already did it. Perfect. Anu, you want to start bringing some people up?
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. Emmanuel.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly. Welcome. Thanks for coming up.
Thank you very much. I'm actually a newbie,
thank you
very much for.
Great.
Yeah, thank you very much for having the platform. I was actually invited by Sama, who's one of our advisors. Just to give you a little bit of background about myself, I'm the general managing partner at Green Hills Cap. So we're a venture fund. We do family investments, etc. But today I was invited to an Elon Musk and Kanye West dialogue, and it went on forever. And I was just listening to a lot of people.
This was the room where people were talking about the fact that Elon and Kanye are doing a room.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I was invited, and I thought it was very cool to be kind of like a fly in the wall. But there was about maybe close.
Yeah, that room capped out at 5,000 people, I think. Didn't it?
But there were a lot of people that had some great ideas. I don't know if it ever went through, and I don't know if they ever joined, Elon Musk or Kanye West. But I had to leave, and I was very impressed with some of the commentary. And I have one or two questions really quick.
Please.
Wouldn't it be cool to have some kind of a call to action, whether it's an icon, when you have these type of powerful people talking about how they can change the world? And I'm a big believer in that with regards to even some of our private clients. We've got some really, super, genius people that talk about a lot of things. And I think the Clubhouse could be a conduit to actually affect those changes. And I'm a big believer in that. I support the homeless in New York City. I try to give back whatever I can. I support ACE, which is a non-for-profit for homeless. And I thought some of the ideas that were mentioned at the room today were absolutely ingenious. They were so great, but nobody actually called to action. Like the moderators, didn't say, all right, well, great, we've got some great ideas here. Why don't we create a group and, let's do it. Let's do it. I think, this is a great thing. And, that's where I thought, wow, that's what Clubhouse is all about. You get together, you have an idea, and you go out and you put together a group, and you say, look, let's do it. I don't know in what form. I mean, maybe chip in $25 each or whatever. Yeah. It doesn't matter. As long as you're doing something to affect change is the most important. That's all I'm going to say.
I love that. I love that. It's so in the spirit of what we're trying to build. And it's been incredible to see what people have done organically. There are all sorts of get out the vote efforts where people are mobilizing every day. There are people doing like phone banks live in Clubhouse. And, people have done all sorts of fundraisers, raised tens of thousands of dollars in a single room for different causes or even more. I was just talking with Drew, one of the members of the community, and she's putting together a fundraiser on February 14th and 15th called 24 Hours of Love. And they're doing 24 sessions with all different expressions of joy and serendipity and inspiration with this amazing group of creators and entrepreneurs and builders and activists, all the while raising funds for this nonprofit, the Martin Luther King Jr. Center for Nonviolent Social Change. Perfect. And so what we want to do is, exactly. So we want to figure out how to celebrate things like that, how to and how to promote things like that, and how to give people the tools in app to make that more frictionless. So like monetization, part of the reason, creator monetization, part of the reason why that's so exciting is you could imagine people could, we could perhaps build in things that allow people to really give calls to action. Now, the thing that we think about sometimes is how do you make sure that you're doing that in a responsible way? So, we don't have links on any profiles because that could be a spam vector. And so you want to make sure that you're being really thoughtful. Maybe you have a set list of charities, and you can allow people to have buttons that donate specifically to that charity, or there are other ways to do that in a more controlled way, where you're whitelisting, where you're creating a list of like certain domains.
Right. What actually got my attention, today were people talking about the situation that we're going through now, which is very relevant, right? We're going through a pandemic, and I live in New York. I happen to be here actually this week because, I'm going through chemo. I have cancer, so I'm going to Memorial Sloan. So I was here in New York, but our offices are here in New York, and you could see the change in New York. Where offices are in the Chrysler Building, the whole place is full of homeless. And so, we try to support, have been doing this for, 5, 6, 7 years, where, we take in the homeless and we say, look, don't go in despair. There's a program out there. We can get you educated, get out of drugs, get a job. We'll train you. And then get a job so that you can get back on your feet, as opposed to being, living in the streets, right? And so that's kind of, what I do part time, and I love it because it's kind of giving back. And there were a lot of people tonight talking about that because it's relevant. It's everywhere. It's not only in New York; it's everywhere.
I love the idea that we can, the idea of thinking of ways where we could find people who share. Like my wife is really interested in. And she started a nonprofit to help with homelessness as well. It's a cause that's really.
I think it's a notable cause, but there were so many other people. So how can we connect
when you have 5,000 people and give them the tools to organize here? I love that idea. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's an amazing.
When you had 5,000 people talking about what they do and how they can be passionate, supportive about the how to change things. You have a lot of ideas, so I thought, hey, why don't we just call to action? I mean, why are we just talking? Why are we just talking? Why don't we do something? And I would even go as far as saying, look, if it's a worthwhile worthwhile cost, I'll match it. I'll match it financially, because I think it's what everybody should do in their own capacity. I mean, you don't have to be all out of pocket. I'm saying, no matter how large or small, you're contributing.
Yes, you should email us about that, because I'd love to talk more about that, and you should send us a note about that. That'd be fantastic.
That's great. Last thing, I have a question regarding.
Okay, I got to get to summer next though.
Last thing, real quick, on the rooms, because I'm new. Is there a way that you could do a Zoom?
No.
Okay.
Do you mean like have video in here, or do you mean port the audio to a Zoom? No, I don't think we ever want video. I think it really changes the nature of it. Totally get the question, and there are times where video is really good, but we really want to focus in on audio. I think suddenly if you have video, you have to hold up your phone, you can't multitask, you have to worry about what you look like,
got it.
Your houses. So we really want to focus on audio.
Okay, well, thank you very much, everyone, for your time, and great work, Paul, and everybody on the Clubhouse.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate your coming up.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Have a great day.
Nice to meet you, too. Good night.
Good night. Summer!
Hello. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, I appreciate, being a part of this little welcoming party. And I've already, I've only been on here, 5 days now, and I've already gotten to be a part of such amazing conversations. Today there was a UCSD professor of physics just talking about astrophysics and things that
amazing. I'm from San Diego. I didn't even know that. That's incredible.
Yeah, Brian something, started with a K, his last name, but it was fascinating. And then another call that I invited my husband, and my husband was listening in on one of his Olympian friends talking with other Olympians he doesn't know, across different sports, just incredible stuff. So thank you for all of that already. My one concern I would like to, get addressed is on the second day I was on the platform, I got a notification that someone had, please, would you like to welcome this person to the platform, right? And this is somebody who is in my contacts, but I had previously blocked due to harassment, previous harassment. And immediately, of course, I went to this person's profile and blocked them. But I was just a little concerned as to if they could still see my profile. I know they can't be in rooms where I'm speaking, but I would rather just be as, far removed from this person as possible on all platforms. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So the way blocking works right now, and Rohan or Anu, maybe you can correct me if any of the details of this are wrong, but blocking, what I was saying before when I was talking about it briefly before, is that we call it a soft block, which means that if you're ever speaking in a room, they cannot see the room. They do not get notified when you're talking. They cannot enter the room, obviously, since they cannot see it. So you'll never have that happen. They will not get a notification. So Anu, if they search for your profile, will your profile come up? Do you know the answer to that?
Well, if it's a soft block, I think they should be able to see the chat app.
So
it's kind of, it doesn't let them know that you blocked them. Yeah.
That's what I thought, Summer. I totally understand your point. The thing that we want to avoid is a situation where you're in a room and then, someone comes in or, maybe you're just in the audience and they come in and they know that you've blocked them, and suddenly you're in this synchronous audio room together, and that could be awkward for you. And so the way we've designed it is to make it so that when you block someone, they'll never see a room where you're talking, but they won't outwardly, they won't know that you blocked them. And that's because we want you to feel more comfortable blocking anyone you want to block without worrying about them, getting upset about it. And so I understand the point that you're making completely. It's really just the way we view it with blocking, there are sort of trade-offs, and how you design it has different pros and cons, and that's the system that we ended up going with. The other thing that's interesting about blocking is that it's a group setting, right? So what if we're in a room and Anu and I are both on stage, and there's someone that I blocked, but she's friends with them, right? And she's never had a bad experience with them, and she wants them in the room. What happens then? The way it works today is they wouldn't be able to see the room. And again, there are pros and cons to that, but we just really want to make sure that if you're ever speaking, even if you're up there asking a question, you're not going to be put in a situation where someone that you blocked can see the room and can get in. So it's one of those ones where it's a detailed product problem to figure out a solution for when you have live group audio, and each solution has different trade-offs, and that's sort of what we have in the current system right now. It's a soft block, and it respects anyone in the group.
Yeah, and what I would just add, Paul, is that that's what we have right now, but we have had so many conversations around, what is the blocking that we have in place today? What are the edge cases that maybe something like Summer's pointing out that we might want to further think about different things we can do to make everyone feel comfortable, irrespective of the unique situation that they might be in. So it's by no means kind of set in stone. So if you have feedback on it, we would love to hear it, whether it's here or offline.
Yeah. Honestly, it's one of the great things about having a product that is live group audio is you can get so much feedback like this from being in rooms like this. From the earliest days, we were spending 12, 14 hours a day in the room talking with people and putting out updates every day. And so based on the feedback that we were getting, so stuff like this evolves a lot, especially on issues like this where reasonable people could take either side of it, right? And so it just evolves constantly based on, what we're learning and how things are changing as the platform scales.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Summer. Nice to meet you.
You as well. All right. Thanks.
My wife went to Cal too, so.
Oh, yeah. Go Bears.
Great place.
Awesome.
Thanks, Summer.
All right. Thanks, guys. Summer. Take care. Bye.
All right. Is it Manbir?
Sorry, I was on mute. This was my first time. Thank you so much, guys. And first of all, congratulations, Anu, Paul, Rohan, and the entire team. I think we've been so much into social networks, but this is the first social network that kind of does not isolate your life, but kind of makes it more interactive and amazing kind of addiction, I would say, because I've been just on this app for a week and I think it's working out great. So I just have one question and a suggestion that I'd like to put across if you allow.
Yeah.
Perfect. So Paul, first of all, your monologue was great. I think I've been watching it.
I hate monologue, but hopefully it's
No, I think you mentioned it was a monologue, but I was watching sunset here in California, and I completely was so intrigued that I'm still sitting in my car listening to you. And
thank you so much.
We like comedy on the platform too. I feel like you might have a place here.
That was great. So my suggestion here is, the algorithm of that you mentioned about invites. That's perfect. But one thing that I was doing is one of my friends asked me for an invite, and I sent them the invite, but they were an Android user, right?
Yes.
But if we search for their phone number, it pops up and it says that there are 104 friends that are already there for this particular friend that you're adding them. And then your invite basically gets stuck. And I know that the person that I'm sending, my friend that I'm sending, he's an Android guy. And then he's not going to change his phone for, let's say, next 6 months or whatever. Unless you are coming up with the Android version, my invite is stuck. And I don't know if that affects your algorithm for getting more new invites, because I really want close friends to kind of come on board. So that's where my invites are stuck, and I think my algorithm kind of I am hurting my own algorithm there.
I totally get it. So Anu,
I'm going to jump in before you buy me some time, Paul. So you should have the invites back in your account. So
boom, real-time service.
but there's still a very relevant point of feedback around the fact that you can't tell before you send the invite that it's an Android user. But I think our answer is we should be on Android.
Yeah, no, totally. There's no way for us to know that you're going to invite someone who's Android, because it all goes through iMessage. Like, we want it to be really transparent, so it pops up in iMessage. You can edit the message. You can see who it goes to. And like, we don't allow group invites. Like, it's all, we want to make sure that it's a really good experience for you. But part of the challenge is we just don't know it's Android. So the solution to that is we need to build an Android app as soon as possible. And so we hired an Android engineer last week, and she's amazing. And we're building out the Android team right now. And like, it's so important to us. Like, we're like growing really fast all over the world, and so much of the world is on Android, and we really want to welcome everyone. Like, we're building this for everyone. And the only reason that it's iOS only so far is because for a long time the team was just really small, and we had to focus on one platform. But now we're growing really fast, and this is a good plug. We're hiring in a lot of different areas. So if anyone is interested in being part of the team, go to joinclubhouse.com, and there's a jobs tab. Android engineering, really, really, really important to us right now. So that's on us. And we're starting work on it right now. And our hope is that we'll have an Android app in, hopefully the next few months.
See, honestly, I've been in mobile ecosystem for the past 6-7 years. I've been into mobile SaaS sales. But, India is like 500-600 million users by now, and they're like 80-90.
I know.
Android,
it's not
right?
Lost on us.
So that's crazy.
My dad has been telling me the same thing.
Yeah, no, it's not lost on us.
Definitely. But thank you.
Rohan lived there for 18 years.
No, I think thank you, Anu, for quickly fixing on that. So one suggestion that I had, this was my question, the invite thing, which Anu, you helped me out. So what I'll do is I'll basically be conscious how I'm, if it's not iMessage calls, sometimes it sends as a direct message if you have an eSIM on your phone and, a physical SIM.
You know what people do if they're really concerned? They'll check with their friend first and make sure they're iOS and
Yeah, initially when you were on the app, you didn't realize it was iOS only, and that's where kind of I screw it up. But I'll definitely take a note of that. And one suggestion is that, given, let's say, if I'm in I'm in Bay Area right now, and I want to search for groups near me. Instead of just going and searching for, let's say, Bay Area Clubhouse groups, or is it something like location-based group is something that you're going to suggest in future?
Oh, that's another good segue to, we're also building out a discovery team and need to hire more product managers. Yeah, I love that idea. Right? People just find each other through the graph. But wouldn't that be amazing for like neighborhoods and for, like, post-COVID, when people are actually like near each other and getting together and just having conversations about things happening in your city, or finding people who speak your language. Like, that's amazing. So yeah, I love that idea. We just haven't built it yet.
Yeah, basically, I appreciate that. Basically, let's say we have a Instagram plugin currently, right? Which we are plugging in, and we're connecting our Instagram and Twitter. And given it's pandemic, we can't go out. And if we can find, let's say, a coffee lover club nearby in, let's say, Bay Area, right?
Yeah.
We can join that club and we can discuss about coffee recipes and
totally.
whatever it is.
Totally. So the closest thing we have to right now is if you go to the topic directory. So if you go to the home feed and you tap on the search button, you'll see that there's a places category, and that has a small subset of places. And then there's also a languages top level category that has languages, like, again, a small subset of languages that people use. And if there's a special neighborhood or a special language that you want, you can search for it, and it'll bring up all the different clubs. Like, I was looking at, it was crazy. I was searching our list of like club requests that we're working to fill right now, and I was looking for a woman named Charlotte, and it was so crazy because there were all of these clubs that showed up about Charlotte, North Carolina, and I didn't even know we had a big presence in North Carolina. But it's like Charlotte, like Charlotte real estate agents and Charlotte musicians and Charlotte stand-up, and it's like incredible. So if you just search the name, you'll often find clubs that are part of that location in the meantime while we build it out properly.
Appreciate that, Paul, and thank you so much, guys, and congratulations. I wish you guys superb success with this.
Oh, thank you so much.
Congratulations, guys.
Thank you so much for being here. Really nice to meet you.
Thank you, Paul. Same here. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Erin.
Hi, guys. Hi, my name is Erin. I'm here in San Francisco. And yeah, first, I just want to say thank you so much for creating the platform and hosting this room to share, information and welcome the new members. And I just joined Clubhouse 2 days ago, and I wish I've done it sooner because I've been, obsessed with it. As an artist, I spend a lot of time just being isolated, kind of in my studio, creating the work. And I used to listen to a lot of podcasts and music, but I've been on Clubhouse, browsing different rooms, and just the conversation and people are so diverse, and it's just such really inspiring. And I'm curious, since you launched Clubhouse and has been involved so much, and a lot more more members have joined, are there any just like most surprising ways that you've seen people are using Clubhouse, or like, are there any like kind of your concerns? Maybe you've shared some in the beginning, but I didn't catch the the meeting. So I'm just curious to hear that.
Definitely the ping button.
Oh, the pin button. Okay.
No, people blow you away with their creativity. It's crazy, and I think that so I guess to me, it's just something you see in all different mediums, right? Where you can make stuff. If you can take away some of the friction, like we saw in video, for decades we had broadcast television where there were 4 channels and everyone watched I Love Lucy at 7:30 on a Thursday night in the U.S. and then you got cable TV where there were hundreds, and then we got YouTube, and it's this explosion in creativity, and you have unboxing videos and ASMR, top 10 things, and Mr. Beast did a conversation here last night. The stuff he does, it's so creative, it's amazing, right? And the number of formats and genres that you see on YouTube, it blows your mind. And I think with audio, there's so many opportunities too, right? It's a similar transformation where you had terrestrial radio for decades, where you have a couple dozen channels, and then you have podcasts, which are great, but because they're hard to discover and because they're not interactive, the format's kind of limited. And I hope that with Clubhouse we can take the friction out and just people can just totally surprise you with their creativity. So we've seen, what have we seen? So many of the cross-border, cross-cultural conversations have been really, really powerful. All the stuff that's happened this past week between mainland China and other parts of the world. People have people sing opera. People host game shows and give away money. They do dating shows in real time. Someone gave birth on Clubhouse last week. I love the language learning rooms where people come together to practice speaking a certain language. There's Axel Mansour, who's our app icon right now. The app icon rotates with every major release, and it features a different member of the community with every release. So it was Bamani before, and now it's Axel. He hosts this thing called Lullaby Club every night at 9:00, where everyone talks like this and they sing lullabies. I mean, I could literally go on for hours. One thing that I love, and then I'll stop because I don't know how much time left, is I love that it can be a place for people to come together. So when things happen, we already have ways for people to break the news and talk about it, but I love it. I love the idea that Clubhouse can be a place where people can come together and be with other people to talk about the thing that's happening in the world. I remember when RBG died, it was terrible, right? We were in this room, we were talking about something totally unrelated to it, and I saw a little green banner come down at the top of my screen that said someone had started a room titled RBG. And then 2 seconds later, someone else started a room titled, Oh No, RBG. And then it happened again. And then suddenly the room I was in just stopped. And everyone said, oh no, did RBG just die? And you go out into the hallway and it's just room after room after room after room filling up to talk about this thing. And everyone was coming at it from a different angle. You had people, political people talking about the Supreme Court implications and everything that meant for that. And then you had some people singing a vigil for her and it was really, really moving. Then you had other people sharing stories of her early childhood, and just the fact that it can be a place where people come together, or like when George Floyd was murdered, there was this really, like, I remember there was this room filled with 10 white people talking about what was going on and trying to make sense of it, and like wondering how they could be better allies and how to talk about it. And then 10 minutes later, a dozen black people had joined the room, and they were talking about their lived experience and how they viewed it, and what, like, relating it to everything they'd seen and done in their own life. And it's a raw and intense time for the country, and these are difficult conversations, but for a lot of people, it's hard to be in a room where people have a really different experience than you. And that conversation went on for hours, and it went on for days and weeks. And that's something that I mentioned earlier. Like, it's not one specific thing, but just this idea that you can be in the room together, or the fact that, like, anyone, regardless of where they live, regardless of their economic situation, regardless of what networks they have access to, can be in the room where people are talking about, or people from LA are talking about, the business of the music industry, or people in Silicon Valley are talking about, like, people are talking about startup stuff, or people in London are talking about finance stuff. You can be in the room. So I don't know. Like, there are a lot of dynamics like that we've seen that have really just blown us away. And it's all about the community, right? Like, the whole app is nothing without community.
Yeah, I think I think the greatest thing really is, like, you feeling the support, like, a lot more directly than other platforms. And really it's happened at this moment, it's present. Yeah. But are you concerned about, for example, like, some future limitations in certain, countries, for example, like mainland China? I know, like, like Instagram or Facebook and those things are not allowed to.
Yeah. So that actually happened 2 days ago. They cut us off. Yeah.
Oh, already? Oh, no.
Yeah.
So people have to, like, use, like, climb the wall to over.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was, it's like you're saying, there is precedent. And so things like that are, you sort of understand the path things are likely to take. But it's, so there are a a lot of things like that you have to think through and deal with when you're talking about speech, right?
Yeah. Wow, that's unfortunate. But
there was a really good article in the New York Times about it.
Okay, I will definitely take look. Yeah. Okay, but thank you so much, and I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, thank you so much, Erin. It's really wonderful to meet you. And I looked at your Instagram of your art while you were talking, and it's beautiful. It's wonderful.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Right. Thanks. Have a good night. Bye.
Thank you. You too. All right. Is it Oluchukwu? Can you hear me? I think you're on mute right now. I don't know if you're trying to talk, but if you are, if you tap the unmute button on the lower right of your screen, then we'll be able to hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Hey, there you go.
Thank you so much, Paul, for letting me in. Thanks, Anna. And thanks, Ohana. Also, I'm a big fan of your work in terms of genetics. This platform has been absolutely amazing. I've been here for like the past week, and it's just been in rooms where they just have fantastic conversations. My question to you guys, or probably just a suggestion, I've been in some rooms where obviously probably large rooms, you would want to kind of get involved, participate in the conversation just because of how amazing it is. But sometimes just because of the time limit and the largeness of the room, it's just hard to participate in every room that you're interested in. And I was wondering if you guys probably considering some features where for the audience and for those that are unable to kind of go onto the platform to talk, if it is possible to have like a feature where you can potentially type in the questions that are visible just to moderators. If in the event you can't talk, at least the moderators can view some of these questions. I'm guessing a lot of these questions will probably be similar from the audience. That's just something I was wondering if you guys, I know you guys probably focus on audio.
Yeah. So a couple of things there about like philosophy. One is, it's this really interesting tension because when we were really starting the company, we were thinking about this and we were kind of realizing, boy, there will be times where the wishes of the speakers are at odds with the wishes of a listener or a would-be listener. And this isn't what you're talking about in your case, but I just wanted to mention it because it's kind of an important point. Maybe you're talking on stage and there's someone who wants to be in the audience, or they want to be on stage, but you don't want them to be, because maybe you want a more intimate discussion, or you want to be thoughtful about the composition of who's speaking right now. And what we decided early on was that in those cases, we would prioritize the creator. We always say creator first. We mean creator with a lowercase c. And we think it's really important to us that if you're the creator of a room, you're in control. And sometimes that means that people might want to come up and raise their hand, and the speaker's not ready to take questions. Or sometimes the room's just so big. Like right now, we have 211 people with their hands raised, and I would love to answer all of them, but we just can't because of time reasons. So your question was, should we have something where you could type in your question? I think that's an awesome idea, and it's something that we've actively been talking about. It's something we prototype effectively at Town Hall, right, by having you submit questions in advance. And we did it for the exact same reason. We want to make sure we're getting to the most important questions. We want to make sure we're getting to the most common questions. And it's really hard to do that in this room. So I think we probably will add that. The one thing I would say is you have to be careful about how you implement it, because it could have implications or effects that you don't really anticipate. Like it could be that people try and use it for trolling or for, or maybe in a more innocuous way, maybe they use it to comment, like, wow, great comment, great thing that you just said. And that could be distracting to you as a speaker, or there are a bunch of things that it could do to affect the experience. So we just want to make sure we do it properly. But I think it's a really great idea, and it's something that's totally top of mind for us. So it might be something that you see in the product in the next few weeks.
Cool. You guys keep up the good work. Amazing platform.
Oh, thank you so much.
And thanks for all the work that you're doing. Just check out your profile.
I looked at yours also, and I see that you are one of us.
One of us, yes, that's the chance. Not actively right now, but from time to time I am, and there's still a big part of me that is in it. So I really appreciate it.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Thank you so much. All right. Is this our last question on him?
It is, and I know you're going to be really, really sad, but
the pressure.
I think we have to do it.
Severine.
Hi, guys. Sorry, but can you hear me now? Because sometimes I have poor connection here in my country. So
no, we can hear you perfectly.
Okay. Hi, guys, and thanks for having me here. And first of all, huge congratulations of the launching of the app.
Thank you.
So, since I've been on multiple social media like Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, I'm just curious if Clubhouse will be whether if you guys will have a future collaboration with bigger social media, as mentioned, Facebook or Instagram, and maybe adding more features to it.
Oh, whether we would have a bigger collaboration with some of the existing social networks?
Yeah.
We don't have anything planned, but I think that it can be pretty complementary in the sense that, when people link their Instagram or Twitter, it helps. If they choose to do that, it's totally optional, but if you choose to do it, it helps people learn more about you, and you can gain followers on those networks, and people can DM you there. I think that, I think we'll always want to allow you to have control over, what's on your profile. I think that right now there's no content that you can really cross-post, right? You can let people know that a conversation's about to happen, or let people know it's happening right now. For anyone who doesn't know, if you tap the little plus button, the ping button, there's also a link you can do to grab. There's also a link you can grab if you want to post it to other networks. I think there are things like direct messaging that we'll probably want to build natively into the app at some point, because so many people are doing back channels on WhatsApp and iMessage and Instagram and Twitter, and it's just something people are already doing. So we should probably make that easier. And I imagine there are other things that we could do that allow you to optionally pull in information from those other networks. But beyond that, we haven't thought of any large scale integrations that we would do with them.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much for your answer. One more question, since I've been currently in touch with the world of algorithm.
Yeah.
And I know people get into the world of Clubhouse by invites, like through friends invites or invites in general. So I'm just wondering if there's anything called like algorithm used in this app, since I know the users have been growing exponentially. So I'm just curious, like
what algorithms we use within the app?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So here's what we want to be able to get smarter about. Like you mentioned invites. We try and look for people who are actively contributing to the user community, and then just proactively thanking them by adding more invites to their account. And then other things where we'd like to get smarter are suggesting good people for you to follow. So if you're interested in certain topics or things, like we can show you the best people who are active and who you're really going to enjoy hearing from and talking with. We want to get really good about showing you clubs that might be interesting to you, that are relevant to your interests, that are active, that host great conversations. We want to get smarter about showing you the right conversations that you might want to jump into. So right now there are thousands and thousands of conversations going on, and we need to show you the best 3 at the top of your screen, or the best 50 in your feed, and we want to get better and better at that. And then the last thing is notifications, because it's a live service. We want to let you know when there's an event that you'd like to be a part of, and we want to not bother you if it's one that you wouldn't be interested in. So I think that means we want to provide the right features for you to tell us what kind of stuff you want to see if you want to do that, and just be smart about inferring it otherwise, based on limited information that we have about you. And that's really it. Like we're not building like ads or anything like that. So our preference is to have as little information as possible about you. And the main things that we want to do is the main things we want to be able to do algorithmically are just like send you good suggestions for people and clubs you might want to follow, rooms you might want to take part in.
Wow, it's just so amazing that, I see the main features of this app is like I cannot find any ads pop out while I'm in rooms and while I'm in discussion. That is just amazing.
Yeah, we want to build it on direct monetization so that all of the amazing people here can just do what they're doing, which is hosting great conversations, and can make money doing that.
Yeah, and I see my notifications all got personalized, and that is just blown my mind away.
Well, thank you. Hopefully they can get better and better and better every day as we start to build this team out. So thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much. And one last thing is that, so I'm in Taiwan right now.
I know. There's so many people who've been doing it from Taiwan. It's been amazing.
Yeah, and it's during Chinese New Year, and Happy New Year to everyone here. And I hope you having a wonderful 2021.
Oh, thank you so much. What a pleasure to meet you. I'm so glad you're here.
Same, and congratulations for the big success on launching this app.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, we're 6 minutes over. That's not too bad. There are hundreds of questions left. Like I always say this, my favorite part of the whole week is this room and getting to meet all the new people. And my least favorite part of the week is having to close the room when there are all of these questions left. If you have anything that is time sensitive that you really need an answer to, please just go to the Knowledge Center, go to support.joinclubhouse.com, or tap on your profile in settings and FAQ, contact us. We've tried really hard to catalog all the most common questions we get and to give you good answers to all of them, and to make it really easy for you to get in touch with us if your question is not answered there. Like I was saying, we are here to help, and this is like our favorite thing to do. So please reach out if you still have a question. And with that, I just want to say a huge tremendous thank you to everyone. It blows my mind that people are willing to spend a little bit of their Wednesday evening with us, hearing us talk about this thing. But hopefully this gives you a better sense for what Clubhouse is and what we value and how to use it and just some tips to get you started. If you missed part of it, again, we'll be back next Wednesday, 6 o'clock Pacific time, and Sunday, 9 a.m. Pacific time for Town Hall. And we're in rooms all the time, literally. It's like we try and do it and work at the same time. But we're always around, and we're here to help. And we're just so unbelievably grateful that we get to spend our time building this thing. Clubhouse is intended to be a blank canvas filled with the faces of amazing people like the people in this room. It's nothing without you. It is everything with you, and that is never lost on us. We hope we can build a really human space where you can come together and use the app and close it at the end of your session feeling better than you did when you opened it, because you deepened friendships and met people and learned, and that if you're spending time on it, you really feel it's time well spent. If you ever have suggestions, if you ever have questions, please let us know. Otherwise, I just want to say thank you so much again for being here, for being part of this community, and for giving us your feedback to help make the product better. So go enjoy dinner, enjoy your families, enjoy your friends, enjoy your work, whatever you're working on, and hope to see all of you soon. And so wonderful to meet so many of you. Have a great Wednesday night or Thursday morning or whatever day it is where you are. And welcome to Clubhouse, everyone. Thank you for being here.
Welcome to Clubhouse. Have a good night, everyone.
Thanks, Al. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.